All right, so I just rented this skid steer from Home Depot. And in this video, I want to show you the things that I've learned. I've never done this before. I've never operated this type of machine. And so let me talk through the process of renting it, how much it costs, how to operate it, and some of the things that I've learned that can hopefully help you out. This is for beginners who've never done this. Just want to pass on what I just learned to you to save you some time. Let's check it out. The reason we rented this thing is because there was a lot of brush on the 10 acres we have here in South Florida that we wanted to scrape out and try to make look a little bit better, and primarily so I could use our zero turn and actually mow the grass. All right, so this is Home Depot's kind of base model, smaller skid steer. This is the ASV RT25, but they have several brands and several different types that you can check out. Let's climb right into the cabin. Okay, first up, we have a joystick here on the left. This is going to let you move forward, backwards, left, right, and kind of spin around. There's this little graphic that explains that here. So that's pretty straightforward. This button, I have no idea what it does. All right, so this is the right joystick. This is the horn. If it, I don't know what these buttons do. I do know this is the horn. That's important. And then you have a graphic here that kind of explains. Basically, you can kind of go up and down this motion, and then left and right will actually tilt that bucket. So if you were dumping dirt, that's how you're going to go left or right. And the real skill comes in when you are using a combination of these joysticks to achieve 3 motions at once. So you might be backing up while also raising your bucket and tilting the bucket. So kind of this motion. And you might do that to fill in a hole with some dirt. All right, next up we have the throttle. So you can kind of see turtle and rabbit, fast and slow, pretty straightforward. Kind of hard to see here. Up top is where the key goes. So I tied this bandana so I don't lose this thing on my property. Now what I had trouble doing when I tried to get this off the trailer is I started this, but I couldn't move it, and I wasn't sure how. This may be obvious for people, but there's actually this bar that you pull down. So I'll pull that down now. Almost like a lap bar on a roller coaster. And this is now what will enable me to actually engage the machine, move forward, backward, lift the bucket up. So it's really important to keep this down. Now when this is down, you don't want to put your feet out here or anything, you're going to lose your leg. So yeah, that's one of my biggest pieces of advice, is to take your time. If you haven't used one of these, go really slow the first day. Just get acclimated with the controls, because you'll start to realize how powerful this machine is. It can be very dangerous. It can be deadly. So take your time, get comfortable first. All right, so let's fire this up. It's going to be a little loud. I'll probably do a voiceover so you can hear, and we'll drive this thing around. So I'm going to show you one of the techniques I learned that I felt is the most helpful for clearing brush. I'm going to try to demonstrate that on the machine. But basically what I do is I take the bucket, I have it open fully and flat, and then I'm scraping backwards towards me. Now there's a little bit of a technique to keep the level of the bucket touching the ground. You don't want to dig back and dig a big hole. So you're kind of constantly adjusting up and down as you move backwards. Here you can see I've scraped out essentially big piles of brush that used to look like this. And what I'll end up doing is taking this bucket straight in all the way up to some of the palm trees, digging it in and just pulling backwards towards me. So let's try to capture that together. All right, so let's talk about the process of actually renting one of these. I went on to homedepot.com, and surprisingly they have a ton of large equipment rental. I think it makes a lot of sense. There's contractors and different professionals that rent out equipment, but for someone like myself where I'm not in that field, just doing a project here, I was surprised to see how much equipment they actually have. It's really, really impressive. So there's two ways to do it. You can call this 1-800 number and book a reservation in advance. Otherwise, you could show up at your local Home Depot and do what a first come, first serve rental. For me, I booked this machine for about a week. I was able to pick it right up with the truck on the trailer and haul it back to the property. A couple tips for you. One, this machine is diesel, so I had to actually go buy that diesel gas can and start to fill up with that kind of fuel. The second thing is I can't imagine just having this machine for a single day if you've never used one before. Give yourself time to learn the tool and learn how to operate it effectively. The third thing I learned, I probably would have paid for a larger model. In fact, I tried to. Theirs at the store was out of commission. But while this is powerful, depending on your job, you may want to upgrade to a level a little higher with a little more power and a larger bucket. All right, I hope that was helpful. Hey, consider subscribing to our channel. As we move into this country farm life, we're just documenting everything we're learning. We've never done a lot of this before, so we're making this channel dedicated to showing you what we learn in real time here on our farm. We'll talk to you soon.